You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Mission Log Engage here on the Roddenberry Entertainment channel on YouTube. I'm Norman Lau.
And I'm John Champion, and we've got more in store for you today, more of your comments and feedback that we will engage with and discuss and send right back to you, our viewing audience here on YouTube.
So I'm glad that this is an end of the week show, our end of the week. I hope you all had a fantastic week because it's a funny topic to discuss, but the context of the topic itself it's really interesting. So
yeah,
why don't you start us off, John, and let's see if we can get out of this fight.
So this is great. This is an email from Alex, and I love the subject. Parturition, spaghetti fight.
Spaghetti fight.
Parturition, of course, is the episode that we're talking about. We'll just call it the spaghetti fight episode.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Norman and John. I have to disagree with your characterization of Neelix and his ugly jealousy over several episodes. I will agree that acting that way toward Kes isn't justified because she isn't doing anything. Toward Paris is another story, though. In previous episodes, if Neelix had displayed bitter jealousy towards Paris for just saying hello to Kes, or for Paris getting Kes a Starfleet travel coffee mug, we would definitely say his jealousy isn't justified. But that's not what was shown. Paris lingers at the kitchen counter while staring at her longingly. He spends a lot of credits on a really sentimental and romantic type of gift. If Paris did these things while already having a girlfriend, we would say, what's he doing? Isn't he with someone already? Neelix witnessed these gestures for what they seem to be, and eventually Paris finally says he has feelings for her. So Paris's behavior wasn't really innocent, and Neelix recognized it. The fight wasn't justified, and Neelix should have just assertively, not aggressively, confronted Paris about it. To me, it read as something very real, as maybe Neelix isn't feeling so secure in himself and his relationship. Also, please let Norman know he did very well in his first panel. Just listen to the podcast, and it was a really engaging discussion. Bravo, Norman.
Yeah,
nicely done.
That was the Robert J. Sawyer panel from Star Trek Las Vegas. Yeah.
STLV 2022, Rob and our friend James Kerwin and me and you and an exuberant Scott Mance. So if you didn't listen to it yet, it's back in the Mission Log main feed as supplemental 70 or 71. Really enjoyed that conversation.
It's funny. I call it like reflexively the Robert J. Sawyer panel because I am such awe of the man as an author. So it just kind of recodes itself in my head as that panel.
He's pretty great. We were lucky to have him. But back to Alex's points here about Neelix and his jealousy. How do you want to address that?
Well, I think we have to use kind of like the facts at hand. So either this episode or the episode before, Neelix said to Kes, well, I hope that's the last time we see of that green-eyed puss hog called jealousy. He says that himself. So he already admits that he is a jealous man.
Yeah.
Whether or not it is justified, it doesn't have to be justified because it's already there. It's not something that's all of a sudden it just springs up out of nowhere with no context or no backstory or no world building of the way that Neelix is towards Kes or how he sees himself in his relationship. Now, we have said on occasion that his relationship with Kes has been very spotty, very inconsistently written. And in Parturition, it does kind of boil over in an almost illogical way, almost an unearned way. And yeah, I'm glad that we are all on the same page when it comes to the immaturity of the spaghetti fight, rolling around in sauce, presenting themselves in front of the captain like a couple of buffoons who, they can't talk out their feelings because they're not adults, but they are serving on a Starfleet ship. But I understand what you're saying about Tom, and we did bring up a point of why did he spend so much money on a gift? It was supposed to be just a gift of friendship. But that's a huge presumption saying that, and before the fact that he admits that he has feelings for Kes. So that's all on the surface, and Neelix is interpreting it as such. We all have, I'm not going to say we all, that's a general statement. I'm going to say generally, many of us have had that moment where we read things out of context. Three's Company created an entire series based on that premise of
Yeah.
walking into a conversation that didn't mean what it was supposed to somebody, overhearing something, seeing something completely set up in the wrong with the wrong parameters to have achieved the most ridiculous results. That's Neelix. Neelix sees a glance, he sees a whisper, he sees a laugh, he sees emotion. Like, it doesn't have to be Tom. It can be anybody. It's just that Tom spends the most of the time with her. Maybe it's coincidental. Maybe they just like each other's company, but that's it. And then Neelix said, you know what? This guy is moving in on my girlfriend. It doesn't help that he admits it later on, but I do think that his jealousy before that confession, before that admission, is still a little over the top. What do you think, John?
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, I think there's two main problems going on here. One is that Neelix's reactions are a bit extreme for what's going on. He can be jealous. He can be insecure. He can be anxious about his relationship with Kes. Like, those are all relatable, believable things for him to have. What makes it much more difficult is, well, partly the way that they are portrayed, with Neelix not only being older than Kes, but Kes's species having this incredibly short lifespan. So she's kind of adolescent, adult-ish, that it plays a little strangely because of this the sort of mismatch in the power in the relationship and the maturity level in the relationship. So I think that's a big, big problem. I think the other big problem here is that we're not giving Kes agency. This email and all these discussions are about what is Tom Paris doing, what is Neelix doing, and none of it is saying, what is Kes doing? What is Kes's feeling about this? And when does she get to be the one who can step in and say, hey, Tom, I appreciate it, but you're my friend, and we're just going to remain friends. So if you're trying to hit on me, don't. And when does she get to go to Neelix and say, hey, look, one more jealous outburst like that, and seriously, this is over because you need to shape up. Like that's, I know that is, those words
we needed that scene. We absolutely needed that scene. Yeah.
Those words are not in Kes's nature, but the nice thing about this, and where they do have fun with the mismatch in the relationship, is that Kes, being the younger one, does come across with this great maturity and this centeredness and this groundedness that Neelix, as the older one, does not have. So that is what frustrates me to no end, is that it's sort of like the reverse problem of the Bechdel test here, which is you've got two men fighting over a woman. Their conversation is about a woman. And it's like, at a certain point, I just want the relationship to be the relationship, for Kes to be able to stand on her own and push the nonsense out of her life. I think we've gotten to that. I think where we are now in Voyager, we've gotten some great moments out of Neelix. I feel like Kes has been underused in the last few episodes.
I agree.
As a character, she is there functionally, but as a character, she's underused, and she's so good. But I will still absolutely maintain that Neelix's reaction, his feelings can be genuine, his feelings might be earned, but his reaction is way out of line. So
yeah, and we mentioned that too when it comes to Kes. We said that even the doctor had even a little bit more agency over Kes's story than she did over herself. So no one really asked her, how do you feel about all this? She asked the doctor, like, I don't understand why they're fighting over me. What is it about me that's making them do this? And everyone had an answer and talked at her, but not talk with her. And I really wish after that fight, it was maybe Janeway and Kes having that conversation, like, look, knock it off. You're two grown adults, act like grown adults. One of you is an officer and one of you is supposed to be our guide to get us out of danger and in a relationship with this woman. So what are you guys doing? Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really wish we had that conversation, that opportunity to, and we still do, because if you like what John and I have just talked about.
Oh my God, they're master of the segue. Look at that.
It's Friday,
It is.
right? It's Friday. I'm on my game. I've had 4 other
are.
episodes to perfect this.
Just had to point that out. I mean, a graphic,
Yeah.
a sound cue, something, but yeah.
I was
Bring
taught by
us
the
home.
best. I was taught
Yeah.
by the best, the man sitting right next to me, across from me. So if you've enjoyed what we've discussed here today, please like, share, and subscribe to Mission Log Engage here on the youtube.com Roddenberry Entertainment channel at youtube.com/RoddenberryProd. Or you could check us out at patreon.com/missionlog. And if you go there and check out what we do, you may notice that we have something in our tiers that we have a Discord server where people come in after they subscribe and choose to support us, where you can join in a conversation with so many other fans that have joined us. We have wonderful live conversations. We have conversations about every fandom, at least under the sun, if not more. And we would like to see you there. So please visit us at patreon.com/missionlog and see if you'd like to join us there. Please send us your comments on this discussion or any other discussion that we have here on Mission Log at missionlog@roddenberry.com. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Mission Log Pod. And remember, we may engage with your comments on the air.